butterfly flapping its wings in a quiet corner of the world, setting off a chain reaction that ultimately leads to a hurricane on the other side of the globe. Sounds far-fetched, right? Yet, this is the essence of the butterfly effect, a profound concept that reminds us how small decisions can lead to monumental changes. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Megan, and today I would like to take you on a journey exploring the butterfly effect. Not just as a scientific theory, but as a lens in which we can view our everyday lives and the choices that we make. Let me take you back to a sunny holiday in 2001 in the idyllic paradise of Phuket. My family and I had a great time at the resort, painting little pots, playing in the sand, and every morning we would swim at the beach in front of our resort. We had such a great time that my parents promised us that they would take us back in a few years' time. Then a few years came, and it was 2004. My parents had planned for us to go back to the resort for our Christmas break. But because of an unexpected work call and there was an issue with one of the shipments from my parents' factory in China, they had no choice but to postpone the trip to Sunday, 26th of December. On our way to the airport, the news was playing on the taxi radio. A magnitude 9.3 had struck the west coast of Indonesia, which caused a 30-meter tsunami in Phuket, which is an equivalent to a 10-story in a residential building. Crashing onto the very beach we would be lounging in a few hours. The resort that we stayed at and were going to stay at was completely destroyed. That seemingly minor decision to postpone our trip, prompted by a phone call that seemed inconvenient at the time, ultimately saved our lives. This experience serves as a powerful illustration of the butterfly effect. Just as a butterfly flapping its wings can lead to a chain of events that can lead to a hurricane, my parents' choice to postpone the trip due to a work call created ripples that shielded us from disaster. It reminds us how life is a web of interconnections, and how one single moment can shape our destinies in ways that we can never foresee. That ring from the phone call altered the courses of our lives, emphasizing the profound impact of how one seemingly insignificant action can be in the grand tapestry of existence. The butterfly effect originates from chaos theory, which means that small, seemingly insignificant actions can lead to significant consequences. This effect has captured the public's attention by having numerous movie titles, song titles, show titles named after it. There is even a whole social media trend inspired by the butterfly effect, where people share stories about how one single decision has changed the whole entire trajectory of their lives. One of the reasons why people are so intrigued by this theory is that it all boils down to one question: how well can we predict the future? This concept was famously introduced by meteorologist Edward Lorenz, who discovered that tiny changes in initial conditions can alter the long-term weather patterns. This breakthrough came when he was trying to determine how well a computer can accurately predict long-term weather predictions. After running one test, he wanted to redo a simulation. But as a shortcut, instead of inputting 6 decimal places, he put 3 decimal places. He left the computer calculating and went out for a coffee. When he came back to a completely different trajectory. In the beginning, started fairly similar, but in the middle, the trajectory was completely different. The 3 less decimal places is as equivalent to a dust particle on the Eiffel Tower. But yet it had the power to drastically alter the weather prediction. This showcases how sensitive systems like the weather can be to minor variations. The development of this theory not only changed how scientists view weather predictions, but also had other impacts on other sciences such as fluid dynamics. Allow me to share with you another personal story illustrating the butterfly effect. In 2018, I was single and resistant to using dating apps, mainly due to the stigma towards it at the time. After being single for some time, my friend, during one random lunch break in university, tried to convince me to join Tinder again. Normally, I would have just brushed it off, but maybe there was something in the air that day, or it was my growing frustration of being alone. But alas, I signed up. I left my profile neglected after later that day, and I'm usually a front row student in class, taking notes with my undivided attention, but something about that lecture that day prompted me to want to start swiping. So I did. And within the first few swipes, a profile popped up, and I felt this instinctive pull. Something told me that this person would be special to me. So I swiped right. And that minor decision has led me to my partner of 6 wonderful years, transforming my life in ways that I could have never imagined. Just a disclaimer, don't swipe during classes, education comes first. Fast forward to 2020, I was still living in Hong Kong, and I just graduated from university with a hospitality degree. I was going to look for a stable job, maybe in marketing. But then the world turned upside down. COVID hit, and left many of us jobless, including myself. At the time, I felt like it was such a disaster. My future seemed so uncertain, and the weight of despair was heavy. Yet this unexpected twist became my butterfly wing flap. With newfound free time and a sense of urgency, I decided to take a leap of faith. My partner, yes, the same one I matched with on Tinder that day, convinced me to pack our bags and go travel the world. So I agreed. Using up savings from the age of 17 from tutoring jobs, we packed our bags and said goodbye to Hong Kong for 10 months. This journey was not only a physical departure, but it was also a mental and creative escape. All of a sudden, I was immersed into all these different cultures, meeting different people, and all of these interactions inspired inspiration within me. I felt motivated to want to share my journey with other people. So I started to post on social media. And that 10-month journey around the world has led me here today, being a full-time content creator, standing here in front of so many of you giving a TEDx speech. Similarly, my decision to join Tinder, a seemingly trivial act, opened the door to a fulfilling relationship, and the ripple of these choices has led me to all of these amazing experiences, collaborations, opportunities that I could have never anticipated. Just as a butterfly flapping its wings can produce a tornado elsewhere, you never know how one single action can lead to unexpected outcomes. You may think, well, this is just small changes in one person's life. How big of an impact can it actually have in the world? Allow me to share with you some powerful examples of the butterfly effect, where some people were able to turn one decision and led it to a monumental change in our world. Imagine this: Percy Spencer, an engineer, who discovered his chocolate bar in his pocket had melted when he was working on radar technology. This observation spurred him to want to experiment further, which ultimately led him to inventing the microwave oven, revolutionizing cooking as we know it. Everyday observations can lead to groundbreaking inventions. Don't underestimate the power of small discoveries in your everyday lives. You never know how an everyday moment can ignite innovation. Now let's think about the Me Too movement. It began as a social media post, which ignited a global conversation about sexual harassment and assault. What started off as a personal statement became a powerful voice for millions. This goes to show that how just by one person sharing their story can set off extraordinary waves of awareness and transformation. Lastly, a guy left his lab for a month. When he came back, he discovered mold started to grow on his petri dish. Instead of throwing it out, he decided to experiment on it. The guy, Alexander Fleming. The mold, penicillin, which produces penicillin, amongst the most important drugs ever discovered. If he had just thrown out that contaminated culture that day, who knows where we would be in terms of medicine. So what can we take away from this? I encourage each and every one of you to embrace change. Life is unpredictable. Embracing change, even when it seems daunting, can lead to unexpected outcomes. Take action. Single steps can result in significant outcomes. Don't underestimate the power of one decision. Each one holds potential. Be open to new experiences. Every encounter, every moment, every journey can shape your path. Keep curiosity alive and explore new avenues. Connect with others. Just as I did connecting with people on social media, you too can ignite inspiration in others. You never know how, by sharing your stories, can have a ripple effect in someone else's life. We are all part of this intricate web of cause and effect. Just as a butterfly flapping its wings may seem inconsequential, but it can lead to far-reaching consequences. So the next time you are faced with an uncertainty of a choice, take a moment and reflect. Remember, your choice, however small, have the power to create a butterfly effect in your life and the lives of others. Thank you.